Introduce myself. My name is Valerie Licata. I wear many hats, one of which is working for Givebacks, formerly known as MemberHub, as a senior CSM. I also serve as president of a local unit in Tampa, and I also serve as a chair, and I've held multiple positions at the county council level over in Hillsborough. But my focus today will be talking to you guys about givebacks, in particular communication and store. So if we can just go around real quick while we are giving a couple more people a little bit of chance to get in. I'll just call on you if you have the ability to unmute and just say where you're from and or what local unit you support and your position. That would be great. So I'm just going to go ahead and start with the order in which it appears on my screen. Very original. So Patricia, if you wouldn't mind unmuting if you have a moment and just saying what local unit you support and what your position there is.
Hi, Maniscalco K through 8 membership.
Yeah, hey Maniscalco, how are you?
Good,
all right,
how are you?
Good. All right, Tabitha.
Hi, I'm Tabitha with English Estates in Seminole County.
Awesome. And what's your position there, Tabitha?
Vice President.
Awesome. Do you have a vice president of something in particular, or are you just like vice president?
Just English Estates PTA.
Okay, cool. Sometimes it's like, oh, I'm vice president of programs or vice president of ways and means or something like that.
Just the PTA.
Just the PTA. Got it. You do it all then. All right, Jessica, what about you?
Hi, I am with Fishhawk Creek Elementary in Hillsborough.
Okay. Yeah, hey. How are
Hi,
you?
I met you at the conference. I'm glad to see you again.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm starting to see some familiar
names
for sure. Hey, Katie.
And I am the treasurer.
Awesome. Nice to meet you again, Jessica. Katie.
Hi, Katie Murphy. I'm Vice President of Advocacy for Seminole County Council PTA, and I have a dog who is storm reactive, and there's a big storm.
We just had a little storm roll through here in Tampa. I wonder if it's coming to you guys now. All right, Lindsay, you're up next. I saw you had a friend with you. Maybe Lindsay can't unmute right now. That's okay. Is it Uma? Am I saying it correctly?
Yes. Hi, Uma. I am I'm the president of a PTA in Somerville, Massachusetts. We're a very small city. I hope it's okay that I hopped on.
Absolutely. This program is hosted by Seminole County Council here in Florida. But I know that they put it into the PTA local leaders
That's
group.
right.
So anybody could join. Absolutely. Welcome all the way from Massachusetts. We will send
Thank
you some sunshine our way. Okay. Like a lot of us are
here.
So. Though all of us would really like it if you could send some cold weather this way, like just a nice breeze. It's been a little warm down here.
It's pretty warm here too.
Okay, good. Then we're all on the same page. It is summertime after all. I am trying to do some deductive reasoning because there is this, no, I already got Tabitha. Is it maybe Colleen? There we are. Colleen, if you want to go ahead and unmute and just let us know where you're from and what position you hold.
Hey, yes, I'm from Lawton Childs Elementary in Orange County, awesome. And the position I hold there is president.
Awesome. Welcome.
Thank you.
There's a lot of Lawton Childs everywhere, so it is good that you say which county you're from because there's like one in every county. So that's perfect. All right, Maria Luisa, if I'm saying your name right. If you want to unmute and just share what local unit you're with and your position.
She put hers in the chat.
Maria Luisa did. I see one from Lindsay. And hello, Lindsay. Lindsay is corresponding secretary. And what about Catherine?
Hello, I am the president of Eastbrook PTA here in Seminole County.
Awesome. And what position do you have there?
President.
Awesome. Great. I like seeing all the presidents. When we have all of the presidents, that means that you're going to delegate, right? All you presidents can delegate. I know. I'm the worst at it too. I've been president for at the elementary level. I was president for 3 years, and I'm going into my 2nd year as president at the middle school level. So we got to remind ourselves to delegate, ladies, and I would say gentlemen if there were a gentleman here, but we got to make sure to do that. Okay, cool. So we're about 6 minutes over. Oh, one more. Let her in. And then we will get started on talking about communication and membership. Hey, Trixie, how are you?
Hi.
Hello. So I know who you are, but if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, say which local unit you're from and what position you hold.
I am with Keith Elementary and I am the president.
Excellent. Thank you so much. We have lots of presidents on here. We were just chatting about how we're all going to be better delegators, right? And delegate out some stuff, right? Maybe. I don't know. We'll keep each other accountable or something. One more. I knew we had to hang on a minute because I knew that we are all just super busy and summer is winding down for most of us. And we are just totally geared up and fired up to do all the PTAing. But sometimes we have to book ourselves a little too close. Hey, Jen, how are you? Jen, we are going around the room and unmuting ourselves and just saying what local unit we're from and what position we hold at that local unit. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Sure. Sorry I'm late. I am with SEC PTA. I am also with Millwee Middle School and Winter Springs High School.
Awesome. And what positions do you hold?
DEI, membership, book fair, and food pantry.
Awesome. All the great advocacy spots. And I love book fairs because they're awesome. All the literacy stuff. Okay, so today's focus is going to be on communication and membership. We're going to go ahead and start on membership, and then that will lead us into the discussion on communication. Because you have members you want to communicate with, right? So we got to get the members to be able to communicate with them. So I'm going to actually go ahead and start and use my own PTSA as the example. We are kind of killing it with membership right now. So I am excited to share that flex. That's only a flex in the PTA world, right? Like if I tell like my friends who aren't PTAers, like, ooh, I have X amount of members, they're like, okay, that's cool. But you know, I know that you guys are going to be excited. So that's going to be exciting for me. But you guys can feel free to go ahead and write down my unit's URL so that way you guys can check in on it. Just to kind of get ideas. And I really encourage you all to actually join other local units near you, especially you in Massachusetts. Join local units on social media that are near you or far away from you, because in my world, PTAing is all shared ideas, right? So the more that we share with each other, the better then we can all be. And that's really exciting, in my opinion. Oh, no, don't worry about it, Maria Luisa. I just saw your comment in there. No worries. We're all multitasking sometimes. So you are not being rude whatsoever. I totally understand that sometimes we have tech problems and sometimes we're like doing work and also trying to PTA at the same time because, you know, PTA doesn't pay the bills. So I totally get it and don't stress about it at all. I just hope that you get something out of the workshop today. So Anyways, to kind of go back, I definitely encourage you guys to share resources and share ideas and share information. So join the local PTAs and PTSAs around you, even if you're just following them on social media, or going and checking out their websites every once in a while. It is a really great way to just kind of not reinvent the wheel, and just be a better advocate all over. So you guys can always check out farnellptsa.memberhub.com. This is, I do utilize the website feature on Givebacks. We will talk a little bit about the website feature because that kind of ties into communications and stuff, but it's not going to be our main focus today. But you can see that you can do quite a bit on here. And yeah, we'll go ahead and get started on membership. So your memberships actually sit within your store. And so you can see here, you can create categories. We're just going to go ahead and take a look at my memberships. I do bundled membership, and we'll talk about how you guys can bundle membership as well with items that you might be selling, like in my case, spirit shirts and agendas, and of course, just individual memberships. My favorite thing about, or multiple people in memberships. My favorite thing about selling memberships on Givebacks is how little I have to do in the sense of actually selling them, right? My job, and what I think everyone should take away from promoting membership, is that that's just it. The focus of your membership chair should be the promotion and explanation of why being a member is important. And it should not be the spreadsheet and the collection of money and the entering in names, because that's really easy to automate, especially with Givebacks. So your membership chair should be focused on inclusion and, stressing the importance and promotion of these, memberships. So here in my MemberHub store, you can Givebacks. Look, I'm still converting to my language as well. I will probably call it MemberHub Givebacks for a really long time, but it is just Givebacks now. So you can see here, you will sell your state type. So majority of us are from Florida. So these are our state types: parent, grandparents, student, faculty, staff, business, all those things. I and my school sell my membership for the same price, no matter what member type you are. Some people sell teachers at one price, parents at another, students at another, even community members at another. You absolutely can do that. I'm just showing you guys how I sell it at my store. And of course, it will collect the basic information that you need, which is first name, last name, and a piece of contact. So email or phone number. Students do not need email or phone number. Those little asterisks do go away if you select the membership type of student, as you can see here. Katie is saying that people memberships are to be one price only. Sponsorships can be more. Is that Katie? I don't know if that's just your preference, or
That's Florida PTA.
Florida PTA says that. That is new news to me. Did you learn that at convention last week?
Yes, ma'am.
I think they should probably spread the word on that. Because there are definitely local units everywhere that sell memberships at different price points depending on the membership type. But I don't pretend to be the know all be all about Florida PTA memberships. Just know all be all about how to sell them on MemberHub. Givebacks. All right, so for student members, obviously, as I mentioned before, email and mobile will go away. And then two pieces of information that I collect when someone is purchasing membership is, are they interested in volunteering, and which grade they are or have children in. The reason why I do this is because I like to specify in my communication, and I'll show you guys how to do that. I do see in the chat that there is a question of, can you delete business and student? No, you cannot. Florida PTA does recognize all of these types. These are Florida PTA types, and so you cannot delete any of them. They just will sit there. You don't have to promote them, though. If you're an elementary school and you do not want to promote student, you don't have to promote, but the option will still be there. All right, so let's go ahead and show you guys what I'm talking about when it comes to selling PTA or PTSA membership. So you can see for the current school year, I actually have 594. That is the 23-24 school year. I'm very impressed with myself. Bundling does work. You can see that when you are logged into Givebacks, that you get a snapshot of the current school year or current fiscal year. So that would be July 1 to June 30th. So that these stats are for that since July 1. Here under memberships is where you can manage your membership types. So don't pay attention to the fact that there are lots of others in this unit that don't exist anymore. But you can see the ones here on the top are the ones that I have open currently. If you are new to utilizing Givebacks, your platform will come with the preloaded state types, and you can see that those are the checkmarked ones here, and it will come with the preloaded state amount. So here in Florida, our state dues are $3.50, and so it does come preloaded that way. If you want to create membership in a way that, I'm going to show you guys this again. I'm going to kind of toggle back and forth. If you want to show memberships as like individual, 2-person, 3-person, 4-person, you can go ahead and create new membership types. If you want to utilize the state types, you can also do that. Then you would have like a parent one, a student one, a community one. It's really up to you how you want to have it visually. I feel like sometimes having it by type is a little bit more confusing than having it by number. That's why I've set it up this way in my particular store. When you go to set up a membership, you're going to give it a name and a description. And if you have a long description, you can add that too. So for my bundles, I have a little bit more information, right? So it says like, oh, it includes membership and an agenda, membership and a spirit shirt. And those are at different price points. The number of members is literally the number of members that this membership has. So in most cases, this is going to be a 1. And then you'll see that your state dues are calculated. So this membership has to be at least $3.50 because $3.50 is going to go to Florida. If I want to have more than, if I want to have the 2-person one, I will change this to 2. And then of course, now it says $7 has to be the minimum. Whatever this number is how many members it's going to have to collect. So I've worked with some units that do like family membership, and they kind of don't put a parameter to how many people are included in that. That is not the correct way to do it. You will want to set how many members are in this particular membership bundle or individual. Of course, you'll be able to give it any sort of price point that you want. And then as far as categories go, you can add it to whatever category you want as well. In this case, it's membership. So we're going to stick with membership. So since I selected 2, it will collect the first name, last name, email, phone number, and member type of 2 individuals. So member 1 and then member 2. Any custom option that I create is going to duplicate. So for example, I like to ask, hey, are you interested in volunteering? That question is going to be asked of member 1 and member 2. Same thing goes for what grade, right? So member 1 is going to get the same question as member 2. So if you're doing something like a spirit shirt bundle or something like that, you might want to consider how you set up your membership, because it will ask member 1 what size shirt they want and member 2 what size shirt they want. So we can kind of get into bundles a little bit later if you want to kind of get into that discussion. When you add a custom option, the field name is the question. So are you interested? My computer is being a little lagged. Sorry about that. So whatever the question is, you can add that here. And then the field type is how they're going to respond. Do you want them to type something in? Do you want them to select from a dropdown, have a multi-select, so on and so forth. You can also make any question required that they fill out. The quick or the awesome thing about utilizing Givebacks for this stuff is that you can actually add whatever their answer is to their contact. And then this really focuses on the communication piece of this workshop. When you send out communication, sometimes and oftentimes, I would say even 90% of the time, you're sending communication out to everyone. You want everyone who has contact with you to receive that communication. Sometimes you want to send it to just members. Sometimes you want to send it to just people who have kindergartners or fifth graders or third graders or seventh graders, right? So adding this property to contact allows you to filter your contacts and send that direct communication without having to collect it somewhere else and enter it somewhere else. So as they're purchasing membership or really purchasing anything from your store, they get to select this property and it follows them. There are 5 ways in which a person becomes a contact in Givebacks. They've purchased membership. They've purchased something from your store. You've added them in using our import tool. You've added them in just because, someone came up to you or maybe emailed you and was like, hey, I want to get communication. So you can add people in individually. And then the 5th way that you can add people is actually utilizing our site joins, which I'll show you guys here in a little bit. And any of those steps, if you want to add any sort of those property contacts, it's a really, really great way, again, to not do double work. In our old school forms, it'd be like, are you interested in volunteering, or check off which, events you would maybe want to participate in. You can do that here and have it follow the contact. So once you do that once, you're able to add it. What I'm trying to say is there's a copy and paste. So since I've already have this property, what grade, or are you interested in volunteering? Let's use that one. Anytime I create a new product or I create a new membership, all I have to do is go over here and click add. And now everything is populated and I can make that required or not required. So now I've added it and now I'll be able to filter my contacts by that for this new product or this new membership. I'm going to go ahead and pause. I really like these to be interactive. Is there any questions so far about how to create a membership in your Giveback store? I'm trying to keep it real basic here. I'm going to just pull up the chat. Okay. And you guys can totally unmute and make this interactive. No hand raising or chatting it up. Okay, cool. So maybe we can move on a little faster since everybody seems to be familiar with this part. Where do I want to go now? So when you have your membership and people start buying, or once you have your membership up, people start buying membership. As I mentioned, they're going to get added to not only your membership list, so that's here under Manage Members. Your state dues are going to be calculated. They are not paid for you. They are calculated. So you'll be able to see how much you owe for the current school year, and the president or the treasurer can come in here and pay the state dues. And then of course they get added to your contacts. Members are able to be filtered by going to roll and member. This is current year members. So if you just go to filters, roll member, it will pull up everyone who is a current year member. You'll also see a star designation next to their name to note that they're a member for the current school year. Roles are not customizable, right? So those 5 ways that we talked about somebody being able to come and be in your contact list. Member, they've purchased membership. Donor means that someone who, if you guys have utilized the fundraising platform and someone makes a donation or a purchase from the fundraising platform, they're also added to your contact list. Customer is somebody who's made a purchase in your store. Officers are officers. And again, these roles are not customizable. They just are what they are. Your properties are here and able to be filtered. I do highly, I kind of don't even highly recommend. I am telling you, do not use properties unless it is filterable data. And by that, I mean a select or a multi-select, because if you have people type in information, for example, are you interested in volunteering? It might be a Y. It might be lowercase YES. It might be uppercase YES. It might be all caps YES. It might be yes misspelled, right? Or maybe, or you're just going to need to get a lot of variables, even with things like teachers' names. Miss Smith might be MISS Smith, MRS Smith, MS Smith, just Smith, Smith spelled backwards, right? Like you're going to have too many variables to be able to filter your data. So anything that you make a contact property, please, 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 even though it is an option and you can do it, don't. Just make it filterable data. Does everybody understand why that's important to not make your data trash?
I have a question.
Yeah, absolutely.
I admittedly half listened to it, but I
Thanks, Trixie.
you're
Jeez.
we're multitasking here.
No
Okay, so
worries.
I just want to make sure if I need to do this, I do it. So for example, the Miss Smith thing, like I know to use drop downs, like if I have them because it's less error. But
Yes.
what are you saying about like we should or shouldn't add it to the contact?
No, I was just saying that don't not use drop downs. It's a double negative sentence.
Okay.
It was to not use text fields.
So yeah, the text fields are
Are
unless you
not-
super
yeah.
super have to use it, like child's name, they have to use the text field, first name, last name for their.
It's
Gotcha,
really
okay.
just goes back to contact properties, and you can collect that information any way you want. But if you want it to be a contact property, meaning like they answer that one time and it follows them to the contact, you want to use static data like a select or a multi-select. You don't want to use text.
So an example that I have that would follow them that I'm already using a multi-select is student grade.
Yeah, perfect example to use a multi-select.
But it will follow them and then their
It will
kids'
follow
grades
them.
change.
It will follow them. The point is to not put in your student's grade and let them fill it in however they want. That's
okay. I understand. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Also, just a side note, as we transition from membership and into communications, you are able to select multiple things. So if I wanted to see everyone, this is not the right one. If you wanted to see everybody who's a 6th grade family and said yes, you can actually apply both filters and it will give you that output. So yay, that's good, right? Okay. There are also hubs in which so properties are customizable lists. Hubs are customizable groupings. And you're like, what's the difference between a list and a grouping? Well, really the big difference between a property and a hub is that you can assign properties to items. Again, that means any item in your store or any membership item. Hubs are groupings of people, and you cannot assign that in the store. But they have more permissions, meaning that should you choose to have a hub that was maybe a committee, so it's the carnival committee, and they can have their own calendar, they can communicate with each other through Givebacks. They can also see each other's, contact information in that hub, should you choose to utilize it that way. That's really the big difference between a property and a hub, is that you can have some of those aspects in a hub, whereas properties, it's literally just a list of that the organizers can see and communicate with. So properties is definitely utilized way more than hubs, but there are definitely reasons why you might want to use a hub. And so if there's more questions about that, we can chat through that. So when I go to send, there are 2 ways in which you can send communications through Givebacks. One is called newsletters and the other is called messages. The ways in which they are the same. They are both just emails. No one ever has to log in to Givebacks. That's just like a regular parent in order to receive communication. These communications do just go to their inbox. Another way in which they're similar is that you get metrics. So how many emails went out, how many people opened them, how many people clicked on the link. Both of those are in newsletters and messages. The third way in which that they are the same is that you can send them to a specific group of people, or you can send it to everyone. It works both ways. So if you want to send just to 6th grade families, you can. If you want to send it to everybody, you can do that too. Another way in which that they are saying you can send right now or schedule to send and start working on a draft. All of that is the same. The way in which they are different is that newsletters are much more bells and whistles, whereas messages are very simple. So it just comes down to style when we're talking about the differences with newsletters and messages, when it comes to talking about newsletters and messages. Another way in which they are different that is pretty significant is that if you send a newsletter, it is a non-reply, meaning someone can't respond to it. And it does come just from your unit name, right? So when I send out through my school, it just says Seminole Middle School PTSA. That is the sender, and it is a non-reply. When you send messages, it looks like it comes from whomever is logged in. So if I'm logged in as valerie.licata@givebacks.com, my work email, it's going to look like it comes from valerie.licata@givebacks.com. If I'm logged in as president@farnellptsa.org, it's going to look like it comes from president@farnellptsa.org. If I'm logged in with my personal email, valerie@gmail, then it's going to look like it comes from valerie@gmail. The reason why I'm making all of these distinctive situations is that if you want to send messages and you want it to look official, make sure that you have an official email in order that is an admin that you can send messages from. Okay. And that is a reply message. So if you wanted to send something out and have people have the ability to reply back, you can utilize messages. Any questions about the differences or similarities to messages and newsletters?
I have a question.
Yeah, absolutely.
I listened this time. What would be the reason why you would prefer to use your personal ones versus, messages versus newsletter? Why would you want to use messages?
It is literally a personal preference.
Okay.
Me personally, never use messages. Reason why? I like the bells and whistles. Some people don't like the bells and whistles. Some people just want to be like, here's 2 sentences that I typed up. I don't care that it's in black and white and boring. I just need to get this information out. But my personal preference is to always use newsletters. It's literally comes down to a personal preference. There's no other reason to use one or the other.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great question though. All right, so let's go ahead and, and also you can copy and paste. So once you have a template in newsletters down the way that you like it, you are able to just copy to the next thing that you have to send out and change out the context. So I'm going to go ahead and click copy and show you guys that I am sending it to absolutely everyone that I can send it to. You get to change the subject line. It's an email, so it needs a subject line to whatever you want. And I already have the template the way that I like it. So I'm going to go ahead and click edit in order to send out my next communication. So as you can see, you can change the background color. You can add in images. You can add in text, right? So this is all about information about ordering uniforms. We're a uniform school and we sell them. And then I can add in buttons to go to different locations, right? So this button in particular is going to our store. Added some more images, more buttons. More images, more buttons. This one's kind of a boring one. So you don't be intimidated. You can make yours look just as snazzy. And it really doesn't take much effort at all. Oops, I clicked the wrong button. That is not what I wanted to do. I wanted to click, well, this is that's annoying. I gotta go tell my developers to move that button because it's in a weird spot. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of start fresh too, to kind of show you what it looks like when you guys go to start. You can use any one of the templates that are already here. I like the one column to kind of start. And then you can see here, it has some ideas of what you might want to do, but maybe you're like, no, I don't need a text box at the top. So I'm going to delete that. And I don't want my logo at the top. So I'm going to delete that. But, actually, I don't need the image first. I want it after the header. And so I'm going to have this say like, hello. And I don't want it in black. I want it in purple. And I don't really like this text. I want it in, Comic Sans. So as you can see, you get tons of customization. I don't want it bold. I want it italic. I want it underlined. You can see that you get to really customize and play around with it. It is just drop and drag. So if I have an image here and a text box here and a button here, and then maybe I want another image. So I just drop and drag. And then I want another text box. And then I want another button. And then I can change the color of the button. I can change the size of the button, change what the button says. And then I can tell the button where to go. Right? So I want it to go to Google. So, and I want it to appear in a new tab. So when they click on that button, it will take them to wherever I go. I know that this could look intimidating to some, but I promise it's one of those things that once you get in here and start playing around with it, it's really simple to use. It is just drop and drag. There's no right or wrong way to do it. It is just preference. You can see I have a lot of images in my particular newsletters. I use Canva. I believe that if it hasn't happened already, it's happening this week, where Rachel or someone else from the team is going to be talking to you guys about utilizing that digital tool resource. It's a fantastic free resource that is graphic design. So you can make images, look and feel any which way you want. It's great for social media and it's great for your newsletters. Any questions about this in particular? Floor is open. Has anybody utilized newsletters with success and like it? Oh, you talkative bunch, you. You guys gonna make me call on you? Don't make me call on you. Does anybody want to share how they're currently communicating if they're not utilizing Givebacks?
I'll share.
Okay, thanks, Trixie.
So the way that we are communicating to our members is mostly the newsletter, because I didn't realize when I was sending messages that it was using my name until I started sending that out. But so I switched that to just using newsletters. It did take me a little bit of time to set up a template that I liked.
But now that you have it, right?
But now,
Like,
yes. So now that I have it, I can just, when I send a weekly newsletter on Sundays, I just copy and paste from the previous one and enter the new information.
Yeah.
So it's pretty easy.
It is super easy, right?
Yeah.
And engaging. I really
Yes.
like how engaging with all the colors and buttons and stuff, especially if you're in elementary school, they really want to see all that fun, imagery and stuff like that. As you get older, they're a little less they're like, all right, where's the information? Let me just get to the information, right? But in elementary school, they really want to see that interactiveness. And then making it easy for them, in particular, when it comes to selling memberships or getting them to, support you guys or volunteer sign up, things like that, making it really easy. It's like, hey, click here, get this button, right? They don't have to remember to go somewhere else. They just literally, boop, that other thing pops up, they can fill in that information, and you guys can get what, help achieve your goals for the things that you're looking for. This works great for advocacy, volunteers, right? So if you have like a call to action, hey, click here to email, you can have it go to Voters Voice, or click here to find out who your representative is, right? Like you can have those buttons go anywhere. And sign up here to help volunteer for the, bake sale or whatever it is that you guys have going on. Making it simple and streamlined and visually attractive does increase membership, engagement, participation, all the things that us as PTAers are really interested in. And I truly feel, obviously, very biased, but still very, very much feel that Givebacks is a really easy tool to utilize to do those things.
I have two things to say about that might be helpful for someone that's brand new to it.
Yeah.
So when we are using, and I think I've seen some of your newsletters and kind of taken some inspiration from it, but at the very end of all of our newsletters, that is a spot where we thank our business sponsors. So it's an easy place to put in logos with links to business websites. So that's an easy addition to, saying this is what you could get from us. Also, In the newsletter, each section, I do have some type of picture. So we are an elementary school, and for the quietly engaging kind of families, like they love seeing that there's a chance that their kid could be in a picture when we post the recap of the last family fun night. And I get a lot of good feedback of really liking to go, people liking to see the weekly newsletter of, you know, maybe their kid's going to be in it, and just to, you know, like you said, the community engaging part. So yeah, the picture part is really helpful.
Yeah, totally. That's really, really great. Thank you for adding that, Trixie. I really do think that the more engaging you make your communication, the better return you see, right? And like you said, and I love the phrase that you use, the quiet observer, the quiet engager, right? A community member who maybe isn't, you know, coming to every single thing or raising their hand to volunteer, but they're watching, right? And they know it, they know the value of your PTA. And showing them that in a communication form is important, right? To make them feel connected. So I love that. That's great. So you can see here, this is now messages. You still get all the same things, right? Copying, metrics, all that stuff, but there's no bells and whistles. There's no drop boxes for, you know, forms. There's no imagery, things like that. You can add images just like you can add anything else to something, right? Like an email or something, but then you have to go in here and you have to size it. It's like working in a Word doc, right? You're like, oh, do I want it before the words or after the words or in between the words, right? And then you don't have any font choices really. You just have sizes and you can make it bold. You do have the ability to add attachments, which is something that newsletters doesn't have. So if you actually wanted to attach an attachment that someone downloads or something like that, utilizing messages might be a better fit, but there are ways to do it within newsletters, like making it a link, right? Making it a Google Doc that has a link, and you can use that as the attachment, or even a PDF. Having it in a Google Drive. So any questions about how to utilize either newsletters or messages?
Hi, this is Jessica. I have a question or two. So
absolutely, please.
Oh, thanks. So we actually used to send out newsletters just via email from our grade leads, and it was just a newsletter made up in Word. And ever since we saw you at conference, we were like, oh, we have to use Givebacks for our newsletter. So we're going to start that. But can you kind of go over how we can import contacts? Because we have a list of emails, and that would be great. And then if you could also tell me, please, under what is manage join requests? You might have said that, but I had to run and get my charger.
No, those are both really great questions, and I didn't go over either. So you are perfectly on time to call me out on things. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, thanks.
No, it's perfect. That's perfect. So, and Trixie, I did see your question. I'll give you guys a link to something here in a second. So here under manage contacts, you can utilize this little cloud looking option here to download our template. You do have to utilize our template in order to upload, you know, if you're just like Jessica and you have all of these emails from some other sort of situation that you guys were utilizing before, or you get a list of emails from your school, maybe, you can download the template and fill in that information. It does require first name, last name, email, in order for it to work. If you have any issues with it working, you can reach out to me. I'm going to give you guys my contact information at the end of this call. Sometimes it can be a little funny, but it is really simple to use, and it's just normal stuff, right? So you'll download that template, you fill it out, you upload it, you import it, you're good to go. All of those people will be added to your contact list. And then if you wanted to do it one by one, don't recommend it. But if you have to, maybe you only have 5, and like, you know, who wants to do all that for, you know, 5 people? You can just go to add contact, you'll select your organization, and then you'll enter in their information in order to add them as a contact. Now, going back to manage join requests or join requests at all, we're going to have to start from the beginning with that. So here under settings, under organization settings, you have something called site joins. Site joins is an online contact form that allows people to sign up for communication. So as I mentioned before, if they purchase membership, automatically added. If they purchase anything from your store, automatically added. If you use the fundraising portion of Givebacks, they're automatically added. If you import them, they're added. But there's always that like small sect of people who have never interacted with you whatsoever in any sort of purchase way, and maybe they don't want to, but you still want them to be part of your community and get the information that they're looking for. So that's where site joins comes in. So you'll want to enable and you can choose to auto approve or not. And this kind of ties back to managing those join requests. For my size school, I have over 1,200 students in my school. I also, I'm not going to know everybody, and everything in my particular Givebacks is shut down, meaning like I don't have my directory open. People can't communicate with other family members in there. This is really just administrative use. So I have everybody on auto approve. If you want to be added and get my emails, by all means, get my emails. Others who utilize other features of Givebacks like the directory or like parents being able to communicate with other parents on the site want to approve requests. And so this is like an either or situation. If you want to utilize some of those other features, then I would definitely manage your requests. If you're not going to utilize those other features, you can just have them auto approve. So again, just a choice here. And then once you click save, you'll see this top link here. Always use the top link. Don't use the second link. And when you use the top link, I'm going to close these extra tabs. And you can make this a QR code. You can post it on social media, however you can have your principal send it out, however you guys are communicating it out. You can just send out the link where people can fill in their contact information. So they'll give their email, their phone number if they choose, their first name and last name, and it basically just allows them to add themselves to your contact list. Any questions about that?
Great, thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. So here under manage join requests, I have no requests to approve because I have auto set to it. But if I didn't, then I would literally, in order for someone to start receiving the communication or being able to utilize the open tools that I have, I would have to literally go in there and approve. And you do get emails letting you know that you have a pending status. And you can reject people if you want to. But yeah, great question. All right, so Trixie wants to see some newsletters. And so I will not email you all a newsletter, but I'm going to maybe pick this one. Let me see what's in this one. So once you've sent the email, once you've sent the newsletter, let me say it that way, you have a couple of share items that you can do once it's been sent out. So you can share straight to Remind, Facebook, Twitter, or you also just have a share link. So this share link is literally how it shows up in their inbox. Sometimes as you are starting to grow your own communication, maybe you send it out to the contacts you have, and then you use this share link and you say, hey, Principal Smith, can you go ahead and share out our latest communication? So you can give them the share link and then they can send it out through their parent portal or however the principals send out their information. So I just added that link. So it's a public link. Anybody can go to it and it looks just like the email that went out, right? So this one has a little bit more engagement, a little bit more information than the last one I sent, because that was really just like a reminder for getting uniform orders in on time. So this one kind of talks a little bit about more of what we have going on this school year. We have some needs as far as chair. So we have that chair interest form, it just goes to a Google Doc. I know Rachel or someone else from the team is going to be going over that stuff too. We also have a carnival coming up and we need people to help with the back to school carnival. Again, just another Google form. And then information about our uniforms. It looks really familiar. Why? Because I copied and pasted and then just changed out the information, right? So this one went out previous to the one that I showed you guys earlier. And then we are also selling our business partnerships. And so you can see how I have that set up here too. I do utilize our fundraising platform to sell